刘培元的英文教室正确发音篇从经典演说中练习正确发音这经典演说有的很难有的一般来讲不见得太容易但是我们重点是在发音那如果你觉得我们这个只念，如果你觉得意思不了解，那就去看前面相关的各集。好，我们这个来练习发音看这一篇美国总统罗斯福总统提出了4大自由欢迎小额赞助请分别订阅我的15个 YouTube 频道。The 4 freedoms. Our national policy is thus. First, by an impressive expression of the public will, and without regard to partisanship, we are committed to all-inclusive national defense. Second, by impressive expression of public will, and without regard to partisanship, we are committed to full support of all those resolute peoples everywhere who are resisting aggression and are thereby keeping war away from our hemisphere. By the support, we express our determination that a democratic cause shall prevail, and we strengthen the defense and the security of our own nation. Third, by impressive expression of public will and without regard to partisanship, we are committed to the proposition that principles of morality and considerations for our own security will never permit us to acquiesce in a peace dictated by aggressors and sponsored by appeasers. We know that enduring peace cannot be bought at the cost of the people's freedom. In the recent national election, there was no substantial difference between the two great parties with respect to that national policy. The issue fought out on this line before the American electorate. Today, it is abundantly evident that American citizens everywhere are demanding and supporting speedy and complete actions in recognition of obvious danger. Therefore, the immediate need is a swift and a driving increase in our armament production. Leaders of industry and labor have responded to our summons. Goals of speed have been set. In some cases, these goals have been reached ahead of time. In some cases, we are on schedule. In other cases, there are slight but not serious delays. And in some cases, I'm sorry to say very important cases, we are all concerned by the slowness of the accomplishment of our plans. The Army and Navy, however, made substantial progress during the past year. Actual experience is improving and speeding up our methods of production with every passing day. And today's best is not good enough for tomorrow. I'm not satisfied with the progress that is far made. The men in charge of the program represent the best in training, in ability, and in patriotism. They are not satisfied with the progress that is far made. None of us will be satisfied until the job is done. No matter whether the original goal was set too high or too low, our objective is quicker and better results. To give you 2 illustrations. We're behind schedule in turning out finished airplanes. We are working day and night to solve the innumerable problems and to catch up. We're ahead of schedule in building warships, but we're working to get even further ahead of that schedule. To change a whole nation from the basis of peacetime production of implements of peace to a basis of wartime production of implements of war is no small work. And the greatest difficulty comes at the beginning of the program, when new tours, new plant facilities, new assembly lines, and new shipways must first be constructed before the actual material begins to flow steadily and speedily from them. The Congress, of course, must rarely keep itself informed at all times of the progress of the program. However, there is certain information, as the Congress itself will readily recognize, which in the interest of our own security and those nations that we're supporting must needs be kept in confidence. New circumstances are constantly begetting new needs for our safety. I shall ask that Congress will greatly increase new appropriations and authorization to carry on what we have begun. I also asked the Congress for authority and for funds sufficient to manufacture additional munitions and war supplies of many kinds to be turned over to those nations which are now in actual war with the aggressor nations. Our most useful and immediate road is to act as an arsenal for them as well as for ourselves. They do not need manpower, but they do need billions of dollars worth of the weapons of defense. The time is near when they will not be able to pay for that or in ready cash. We cannot and we will not tell them that they must surrender merely because of present inability to pay for the weapons which we know they must have. I do not recommend that we make them a loan of dollars with which to pay for those weapons, loan to be repaid in dollars. I recommend that we make it possible for those nations to continue to obtain war materials in the United States, feeding their orders into our own program. Nearly all their material would, if the time ever can, be useful for our own defense. Taking counsel of expert military and naval authorities, considering what is best for our own security, we are free to decide how much should be kept here and how much should be sent abroad to our friends, who by their determined and heroic resistance are giving us time in which to make ready our own defense. For what we send abroad, we shall be repaid within a reasonable time following the close of hostilities, and similar materials or at our option in other goods of many kinds, which they can produce and which we need. Let us say to the democracies, we the Americans are vitally concerned in your defense of freedom. We are putting forth our energies, our resources, and our organizing powers to give you the strength to regain and maintain a free world. We shall send you in ever-increasing numbers, ships, planes, tanks, guns. This is our purpose and our pledge. In fulfillment of this purpose, we will be intimidated by the threats of dictators that they will regard as a breach of international law or as an act of war or aid to the democracies who dare to resist their aggression. Such aid is not an act of war, even if a dictator should unilaterally proclaim it so to be. When the dictators are ready to make war upon us, they will not wait for an act of war on our part. They did not wait for Norway or Belgium or the Netherlands to commit an act of war. The only interest is in a new one-way international law, which lacks mutuality in its observance, and therefore becomes an instrument of oppression. The happiness of future generations, Americans, may well depend upon how effective and how immediate we can make our aid felt. No one can tell the exact character of the emergency situations that we may be called upon to meet. The nation's hands must not be tied to when the nation's life is in danger. We must all prepare to make the sacrifices the emergency almost as serious as war itself demands. Whatever stands in the way of speed and efficiency in defense preparations must give way to national need. A free nation has the right to expect full cooperation from the groups. A free nation has the right to look to leaders of businesses, labor and agriculture to take the lead in stimulating effort, not in mind other groups, but within their own groups. 这个比较长，我们分上下两集，下集把它讲完。这集念到这里。